Oh, welcome everybody to the Maj to Ray show. Excited to have y'all. Y'all know the routine. Come on in, tap in, get in the comment section. Tell me where you're tapping in from, what city, what platform. Tonight we're going to talk about this Iraq thing. We kind of been talking about the Iraq thing for the whole week. And today we're not even just going to talk about Iraq, but we're going to talk about the right wing. They just caught with their hands in the cookie jar on this one, y'all. Just saying the exact opposite of what the fuck it is. Just all over the place. And we're going to discuss it all tonight. Guys, you all know that we have Uncle Dut. What's up? You guys all know I work at BGM. I'm Maj Toure, your host, founder of Black Guns Matter and Solutionary University. We travel around the country teaching people about firearms safety and conflict resolution and all that other good stuff. So, if you guys tonight get some value from the show, which you will, I want you to go over to givesendgo.com/solutionary and pitch in. Obviously, we only have 195 more $100 donors, and we're done with fundraising. All of the classes over the last 8 or 9 years have been free to all because of your voluntary donations. So we want to just encourage everybody to support that while we're on the show. Instead of doing a super chat, just go to givesendgo.com/solutionary and support that way. Guys, we're going to start with something else. The media's had their hand in the cookie jar this go around. Obviously, the hottest story in the world right now. What's up, Wild Self? Hottest story in the world right now is what's going on with Iran. Is the conversation around what so many politicians campaigned on, libertarians lent energy to. We said the American people wanted no new wars. And we've seemed to have the exact opposite. And over the last 2 weeks, when billions of dollars have been spent, and they have been spent, there's been obvious visual and visceral and verbal tension. Some agree, some disagree, some are caught up in the Iran, the Muslims, the this, that, and the third. We got to make da-da-da-da-da. And there's been multiple takes. But throughout it all, the government, in conjunction with the media, has fucking lied to us. It's just what it is. And tonight being Friday, and I won't see you guys until Monday morning, I want to kind of like recap a bit, but also give a fuller perspective of where I land. Because, you know, my social media is a weird space. My social media is a space where I have veterans that did actual combat, that lost friends and family, or loved ones like family, right? I have non-interventionists that are like, absolutely not. I have some people honestly are just hate Islam. My following is interesting on social media. And so this Iran conversation has created a very great opportunity for me to learn and look at a lot of different angles and evaluate those angles and land somewhere a lot of times with it. And sometimes I get some of this group upset. Lately, this week, I'm getting some of the vet bros a little upset because they think that non-intervention is somehow this utopian, libertarian, and some of the conservatives too, right? Whether they were vets or not, they think that this idea is a utopian, you know, libertarian, like Shangri-La pipe dream. And we are, as libertarians, aren't the people that are saying, nah, this is not what's happening. We can be Shangri-La. That's not what we're doing. We're saying we do not currently, outside of just violent control, which a lot of can be handled through trade and communicating and negotiation, we don't see the point of entangling us in another forever war. And so some of the vet bros that have their biases, and I say this every night, one of their biases is they lost people. They went over there at the behest of whatever president was in at that time, when they were in infantrymen, and they lost people. So they have a gripe. They have a like a chip on their shoulder. And I understand. They saw their friends killed by Muslims, and they felt they bought hook, line, and sinker that we were the good guys, and we were defending democracy because of the media, because of weapons of mass destruction. So those guys are going to be a little upset with me because I'm calling a contradiction to the United States government. I don't want any Americans. I don't want any war and death and unnecessary shit. But that's, again, we not Shangri-La though. So when I push back against those people trying to package liberty, limited government, we got our own shit to worry about in America, America first people such as myself, when they start hitting me with the like, oh, you guys are just libertarian contrarians and shit like that, I start to go like, I understand why you think that, but you're still going to get the smoke. Because the United States government here is 1,000% wrong, and it's seeming to get worse and worse. We got war story today. 2,500 Marines. U.S. orders 2,500. Actually, let's do that one first. U.S. orders 2,500 Marines up on the shop. Amphibious assault ship to the Middle East after almost 2 weeks of war. Now, I am always going to be objective. When y'all tap into the show, I am not here for the sensationalized shit. My perspective may be sensational, but I'm not here to play this game of like fear monger or hype you up. Let's talk about this 2,500 Marine thing. There's always pretty much a decent amount of military deployed somewhere for just in case shit pop off. And this particular Marine group is one of those groups. So I don't want it to look like they were shipped from America or it's 200,000. You can't, I've said this 7 times last week. You're not taking fucking Iran or even Tehran with obviously not 2,500 soldiers. You're not even doing it with 20,000. So I want to be clear that this is still boots on the ground, but this isn't this like, see, I told you we was, it's still boots on the ground. But there's gray areas and nuance about this that are very, very, you got to get an objective take from me. I can't just give it to you one way. But let's read first, and I'll give you guys some more, perspective on that. U.S. orders 2,500 Marines and an amphibious assault ship to the Middle East after almost 2 weeks of war. War. I want to be very clear. We are at fucking war. One thing I will not allow is for everybody to pretend that the United States government didn't send us to another war that you did not let Congress vote on. You're calling it, the media is calling it a war because it is a war. But the president and everybody, oh, it's just the ops, it's just we're helping. It's just that it's a fucking war. That part we can put to bed. Okay? The American military has ordered 2,500 Marines from an amphibious assault ship to the Middle East, a U.S. official said Friday, in a major addition of forces in the region after nearly 2 weeks of war with Iran. Hours later, President Donald Trump said U.S. forces had obliterated military targets on Iran's Karg Island, the primary terminal that handles Iran's oil exports, and warned that the island's oil infrastructure there could be next. A day earlier, the Speaker of the Iranian parliament warned that such a strike would provoke a new level of retaliation. Meanwhile, in the Iranian capital, a large explosion rocked the central square where thousands would gather for an annual state-organized rally to support the Palestinians and call for Israel's demise. Israel had warned that it would target the area in central Tehran. Now, why is this important? Because we're seeing the media lies just fucking unravel. You went from, even this right here, there were no reports of casualties. Right now, Pete Hegseth and somebody else are on a stage denying and not admitting how many American casualties there have been already in 2 weeks. That is always a horrible sign. That's always a horrible sign. If you say, how many people died? And they be like, that's classified. A lot more motherfuckers died than what they told you was going to die already. That's what happens. And that happened on the stage. Again, anything that I tell y'all on the show, do not believe me. Go look it up. This says there were no reports of casualties, but the decision to proceed with the mass demonstration attended by some senior government officials and Israel's threat to target the area underscored the fierce determination on both sides and a war that has rattled the global economy and shows no signs of letting up. Now, that is the part that we have to be very, very honest about. Shows no signs of letting up. Why is that important? Because for the longest time, every single person, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, insert whoever, has said, we should not be in Iran. We not going to Iran. Donald Trump and the Trump administration, along with J.D. Vance, campaigned on we're not going to fucking Iran. It's stupid. It costs us too much money. Da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. All of that. And I say this not as a person that wants to be proven right based on American soldiers going to die. I'm not that person. If you're one of them leftists that are like, see, these Marines are going to die because of Donald Trump, or you're almost like giddy that the administration got it wrong, we are in a war we should not fucking be in. There's no doubt about it. You spread thin. You literally spread across the globe. Us acknowledging that you guys said this, and then you're trying to gaslight us later, we not wrong because you did a 180. Read right here. This is what these gentlemen said. Donald Trump in 2024. You are not going to have a war with Iran with me as president. You can't make that shit up. That ain't Chat GPT or AI. J.D. Vance in 2025. Quote, I certainly empathize with Americans who are exhausted after 25 years of foreign entanglements in the Middle East. But the difference is back then we had dumb presidents. That's what he said in 2025. 2025 was a couple weeks ago. Pete Hegseth in 2024, quote, the foolishness with which we ricocheted around the world intervening, thinking it was in our best interest when really we just overturned the table and created something worse. That's Pete Hegseth, SecDef, Pete Hegseth in the year 2024. So when Maj does not have the memory of a goldfish on certain things, some things my memory's real bad. Some things. This ain't one of them. And when it's documented from 2024, 2025, and further back, and even up till as recent as 2025, when the entire people that are in charge right now were saying, we shouldn't be over there. 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 What's costing us too much money is this, is that, is this, is that. Then when you do that, and then when some of us don't have a short-ass goldfish memory, and we go, what about this? Then you try to gaslight us, vet bros, people that have financial interests in the business of war. Okay? When you see that, and we say something, we are not the problem. We're not the problem. You are. And unless something happened that was an existential crisis and an imminent threat, then you have to communicate that with the people of America. You have to do it. And then when you don't do it, and then when people go, you want some bullshit, cool. Then what do? You don't say anything. Guys, also everybody, hit the like button. Hey, I see a lot of people tapping in, right? In the comments, but I ain't see where everybody said in the comments where they from. Y'all know the routine. Y'all owe me a little bit of penance when you come into the show. Tell me what city you watching from. Tell me what platform you're watching from. If you're watching from X, make sure you hit the repost button. Share the space all over the place. So when we evaluate something based on what you said, and you did the opposite, and you can't communicate with us how you went 180, don't expect us to be like, well, yeah, vet bro, you did lose somebody in Iran. Like the new person that's gonna go fight in Iran is gonna find the exact person that killed the motherfucker when you was in Iraq. That's not how this shit go. So when I explain it that way, don't think just because you had some clearance, security clearance, or your opinion doesn't matter more. We got access to pretty much the same level of information. You don't have no classified shit. And if the military or this administration has some classified shit, you got to communicate why, at least, maybe not the exact why we doing, the way we're doing what we're doing, but you got to explain to us why you're now $12 billion in a war over 2 weeks, 12 to $18 billion in a war, that everybody, you unequivocally said, nah, we're not doing this shit. That's what it is. Aaron over there in DMV, Uncle Dut watching from New Orleans, Quentin over there in St. Louis. Let me put this up here. Uncle Dut says, nah, as a left of center libertarian and humanitarian, I'm not giddy about it. I'm pissed that we're sending our people into a meat grinder. That's what I think it is. I told y'all a couple of days ago, right? I said, there's 10 million people in Tehran. In Iran, man, they not Afghanistan. Their military army is about 350,000 people, right? But that's before we ain't even talking about we're not even getting to the IRGC and all of that. Like it could be difficult. It could be a different thing. My point in saying all of this is this. The American people believed and trusted in a politician for whatever reason, against our better judgment or in history, because all of the stars aligned for Donald Trump to do the right thing. In his first term, he didn't get us in any new wars. He didn't pull us out of Syria, Yemen, other places. But there was no insert into. And now we going for what? And you're not being honest about we doing gangster shit. And it just looks like it's all over the place. That's what it looks like. Guys, support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Tonight, we're going to try to raise $500. Everybody if you get some value from the show is to communicate what's going on in the world to shape our minds and have better talking points. But the actual work needs your help. We are 195 more $100 donors away from ending the fundraising. Fundraising can be difficult. I love the job. I love the work. We're trying to get the next 1,000 students trained, and we appreciate you all for supporting the work. The Give Send Go page is on the screen. It's now up. The video's up there, the picture, and now it's on the screen, and you guys can click that. So if we get 10 people to give $50 at GiveSendGo.com/solutionary tonight, that will be awesome. All right. So when we see all of this happening, and we start to go, damn, am I tripping? Am I tripping? Are my eyes deceiving me? Did I not hear Donald Trump say you won't have a new war with Iran? If I'm going back to the Obama administration, were there not tweets that Donald Trump was like, yo, Barack Obama's going to try to get us in a war with Iran because he can't negotiate well. And then when I juxtapose that with, you could do business in Iran better by doing business. Okay? Instead of trying to strong arm the Strait of Hormuz and all of that. Right? So are my dying eyes or my eyes lying to me? I'm supposed to believe these things more so than what I saw and what y'all said. So it's either something happened that you guys did a 180 on, or you guys were lying about something and something you're not telling us about. Either way, the American people deserve to know. And you're going to hear people from the military saying, that's not none of your business. That's national security. Fuck that. You burnt out all of our fucking good faith and goodwill trust with you. Fuck that. It's done. And I want y'all as solutionaries to be adamant, because you're going to hear some anti-war leftists If we can coalition around not sending Americans to fucking die, I'm good with that, even if they happen to be lefties. We watching some people try to save face. Who? Like J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is definitely trying to save face right now. Peep this. None of y'all heard nothing from J.D. Vance in a long time, have y'all? Let me hear in the chat if y'all heard anything from J.D. Vance in a while. I haven't. Have y'all? So when there's J.D. Vance was 1,000% adamant about saying last year, no, you had stupid presidents. 2025 last year, not 2024. You had stupid presidents trying to go over to Iran. You got Trump saying, I went over into fucking Iran because of Jared Kushner and them told me. I'm starting to see some people looking like they're trying to find an exit ramp. That's the phrase that they're going to use. Y'all going to hear that phrase a whole lot. He's looking for an exit ramp. We don't know if there's a exit ramp. We don't know if there's an exit ramp. When you start hearing the same word all over and again, that is government operating with fucking media, which is the unofficial fourth branch of the government. And that's what tonight's conversation is about. This pro-war script. This pro-war script that's just getting repeated. And they keep changing the script up as they get caught up in new lies. 1 minute in June of 2025, we destroyed all of their capabilities of fucking rebuilding nukes. And everybody was like, and they said, yo, you guys are panicians, or whatever they called them. See, we got them, we did a strike, and we was good. The vet bros felt confident. But I thought y'all destroyed all of this shit. They rebuilt in less than a year. And this is repetitive because I got to keep saying it because some of y'all don't tap in every night, right? But it's the obvious that's being buried. Yesterday, when on the show, we played a clip of Donald Trump being asked about the sleeper cells. And these are very simple, common sense questions that you should ask. You're telling me when Donald Trump was asked about sleeper cells in in America, from Iranian sleeper cells, he said, yeah, we're aware of them. We know where they are. We're looking at all of them. They got in through sleepy Joe Biden. The next fucking logical question should have been, well, why the fuck are they still here, bro? You know and can prove that they came in under the Biden administration and they are Iranian sleeper cells. If you know that, instead of maybe sending fucking ICE to bother fucking people in Chicago and Minneapolis, maybe, just fucking maybe, you could do the fucking job that ICE could do and go target those get these guys some fucking work. I want to look for some work. This makes more sense. Why isn't ICE being sent to that? These guys are sleeper cells. That means they're illegal. So if you knew that they were sleeper cells and you watching them and you know where they all at, why the fuck you wasn't sending ICE there instead of fucking killing the goddamn lesbian chick in the maroon car and then the other dude? But they want you to think that you're anti-American for asking very fucking obvious questions. Very obvious questions. You know where the sleeper cells at. You know that they got in through Biden. You know that they Iranian sleeper cells. What the fuck are you waiting for? For them to do something that justifies, let's put 200,000 troops in Iran? Or are they not Iranian sleeper cells? They CIA operatives that's trying to keep the money machine going based on baiting Americans into now we got to do it because they got one of ours. A 9/11 type situation. Maybe. What's the name said it? I played it on the show last night, Tucker Carlson. All of this shit is goofy. Every single bit of it. But we got guys like J.D. Vance. Let's see what J.D. got to say about it. When they asked him about what did you advise the president initially as he, Iran, yada, yada, yada. What y'all think JD gonna say? Let's see.
You advised the president initially as he considered his actions in Iran, and what are you urging him to do now, especially with Americans seeing higher prices at the pump and some of the fallout from that across the economy? Do you express any concerns like those you've expressed in the past on the possibility of these extended wars?
Well, Bill, I appreciate the question. I know you guys have to ask it, but imagine the situation. We're in the Situation Room, and I sit there with Pete Hegseth and General Kane and Marco Rubio and the entire White House team, and the president and I and the entire senior team are talking about the options and about what we need to do and about how we must best protect the American people. I hate to disappoint you, but I'm not going to show up here and in front of God and everybody else tell you exactly what I said in that classified room, partially because I don't want to go to prison, and partially because I think it's important for the President of the United States to be able to talk to his advisors without those advisors running their mouth to the American media.
That is the most political fucking answer ever. That is the most political answer ever. I don't know if y'all understand that. I don't understand what y'all just saw right there. That is one of the most political answers you will ever fucking, and it's a good play. It's a very good play. Let me tell you how it's a good play. Because I get to hide behind national security. I get to say, oh, it's classified. I can't tell you that. I can't tell you why I did the exact opposite of what I campaigned on. And it's a great move for J.D. Vance because he looks like he's loyal to the soil. So when he tried to run for the joint in 28, it's like, nah, he was in a bad situation. And we heard he was the only lone voice that was in dissent of that whole Iran shit. It's a great move for him on the chessboard. Listen, I'm a student of the game, baby. I love the play. I love the play that he just made. It's bullshit. And I know it's bullshit. Y'all know it's bullshit. Okay? B-Row B. Appreciate that. B-Row B says, watching from Austin, Texas on YouTube. Love what you do, Maj. One of the few YouTubers with the same middle-of-the-road perspective. Keep speaking out. I'm officially a YouTuber now, y'all. Listen, baby. For the longest time, I was saying, I ain't no internet motherfucker. I be doing shit in real life, right? And it's true. But now we got to do more. So I appreciate that, those kind words, B-Row B, if I'm saying your name right. Right? All I'm telling y'all is the move that J.D. Vance just played there, that gets it off of him. And it does it in a way where if you ask him about, yo, bro, last year, didn't you say only stupid motherfuckers do this? He could go, listen, the president needs to be able to yada, 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 yada. The president needs to, and that's my man. I ain't going to holler at y'all to my man. What's up with that? So people understand he loyal to the soil. That's a very politically adept, especially he's been practicing that because J.D. Vance been quiet this whole time. It's a smooth move. I like it. I know that it's bullshit, but I like it. I like, at least if you're going to serve me bullshit, put it on a nice plate. I'm going to call it bullshit and I ain't going to eat it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say this is some bullshit, but I appreciate the garnish. I appreciate the gold foil around the plate. Oh, man, that's a nice napkin with the napkin holder and all of that. I'm appreciative of all of that. I'm not eating this bullshit, but, man, you chefed this shit up nice. And the presentation was smooth. I'm with all of that. Okay? And that's what just happened there. And why do they do it this way? This is why. This is why right here. Okay? Peep this. Peep, y'all. Peep. Just peep. Most effective devil in America.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay
for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers.
We may have to deal with that in the short term.
Short-term and temporary.
Temporary short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain.
Short-term pain. We have to focus on the short term.
Short-term.
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 Short-term and long-term.
Short-term blip. Hopefully this is a short-term pain. Short-term is highly outweighed of the long-term benefits.
Some short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
When they all start saying the same thing, when they all start saying the same thing, I'm telling y'all what y'all gonna hear next week. It's not because I got insiders in the motherfucking White House. I don't. I just pay attention to what y'all always do. See, when somebody is very detached and working on an actual job and trying to put fucking food on the table, they may not be as attentive to politics. Okay? So they might not hear short-term gain for long-term pain for long-term gain. They may not hear, I know that they will throw 5 presidents at you, all a part of the same plan. I know when y'all will do the same thing and call it a different word. That's what y'all do. The media, most effective devil in America, is the unofficial 4th branch of the government. Just if you view it that way, things make a lot more sense. 2 weeks to slow the spread. This is going to be a short-term pain for a long-term gain, for herd immunity. It's the same script. It's the same script all of the time. And because I can look back and go, oh, you said the same thing. Listen, they're all bailouts, which is all socialism, which is all government involving itself in the free market. When it was Obama, it was called too big to fail, when they was bailing out the banks. When they did it with somebody else, it was called quantitative easing. When they did it with Trump in 2020, it was called fucking stimulus packages. It's socialism. Here's something. Years ago, y'all know I'm 107 years old, right? Years ago, I used to do like workshops with Dr. Laila Africa, who wrote this amazing book. Y'all should read it. The book came out in the 80s. It's called African Holistic Health. Years ago, I used to help at where I used to work. I used to help when he would come to do workshops. And one of the things that he told us about the Food and Drug Administration and all of that, they'll take a thing like an orange, right? And we don't want you to have the seed and grow your own oranges. We want to make as much money off of the orange as possible. So we'll sell you oranges, but we'll also take the peels off and sell you some in a bag that's called peelless oranges. Then we take some of them oranges and grind them up and then freeze the stuff and call it orange juice and send it to you. Then we'll put some vitamin C pills off of the oranges. We want to sell you different things. When you have an ashy hand, when it's your hands, they call it ashy, and they sell you lotion. When you got ashy lips, it's the same thing. You dehydrated. You need some water with some electrolytes in it, or coconut water, or with some sea salt in it, whatever. Or you need to just eat a bunch of fruit or vegetables with water in it. My point is, when your hands is ashy, we're going to sell you lotion. When your lips is dry, we're going to sell you chapstick. When your feet is ashy, we're going to call that athlete's foot and sell you a spray. When your scalp is ashy, we're going to call that dandruff and sell you something else. You're dehydrated. That's the actual answer. You don't have enough fucking water in your system because you drink a bunch of alcohol. Like me, I drink a gang of coffee. It will dehydrate you. You need to drink more fucking water. You need to put a tablespoon of Celtic sea salt or pink Himalayan salt. You need to do something to hydrate. You need to eat more oranges. But we don't tell you that. We sell you different things to sell you shit. This is the same thing. 2 weeks to slow the spread. The war should be over in 6 weeks. 2 weeks to slow the spread. Do it together for herd immunity. 6 weeks of the war, it shouldn't take that long. I got videos of Donald Rumsfeld, Dick Cheney, Donald Trump, and a whole bunch of other people, SecDefs, vice presidents, saying the same thing from our Operation Iraqi Freedom, from Desert Storm, to all the way back to fucking Norman Schwarzkopf. Most of you young whippersnappers in this place don't even know who Norman Schwarzkopf the fuck is. But you got that line of people since the 90s, which isn't a very long time ago, but it's kind of a long time ago, all saying the same thing. It could be 6 days, it could be 6 weeks. I don't think it'll take that long, to you never know, to maybe, to we're not going to do boots on the ground, to now we got 2,500. Now the number of Marines is 5,000. And again, all I'm telling you is it's the same script. And the media will use the same play because you have been focused with your dollar losing 96% of its fucking value since 1914. You have been focused on putting your child through, giving your child a fucking good life, getting married, buying a house. So all of these things happen, and you may not be able to remember and pay attention to all of this conversation. Most people are not political animals. My job is to make it very, very distilled and the seemingly complex be very basic and just ask very basic questions. Don, you just said you know where the fucking sleeper cells are. Why the fuck didn't you use ICE to go chase them? Don, your fucking military bases just said they lost 4 fucking drones. Now you motherfuckers is telling they're going to try to do some drone shit? Now you telling me the sleeper cells all over the place? Now you tell me that, like, if you knew all of this since Sleepy Joe was in fucking office, why is your administration at the same time, Pam Bondi looking the fuck at you, why at the same time are you trying to unarm Americans during a time where you saying we got sleeper cells all over the fucking place? Why would you want more Americans to not have the most effective means of defending themselves? Because when seconds count, fucking, and the Iranian sleeper cell dude is seconds away, police are fucking minutes away. See, my job, when you guys tap in, is to make this shit real simple, explain it to you that way, and make sure that you guys know that you're not fucking crazy. You're not crazy. They trying to gaslight you like you fucking crazy. You ain't crazy. They're retarded. They're manipulative. They're contradictory. They don't have a standard. And if you allow somebody like the vet bros that have a chip on their shoulder and a bias, if you allow them, because they've had combat, to somehow convince you mentally that your common sense perspective of a thing, you must be out the loop, like they got some new exposed information that you don't fucking got. That's how they beat you. And you'll see them vet bros all over social media. You don't know what you're talking about. You never served. You motherfucker didn't serve anything. You served a corporate interest. You didn't give the Iraqis freedom in Operation Iraqi Freedom. You motherfuckers are willing to circumnavigate the Constitution in the name of the War Powers Resolution just because you got some bloodlust too. And all of your glory came from when you served, because when you came back, everybody was gooking you because you served. I don't give a fuck about your service. I give a fuck about you as a human. Your service is dumb if motherfuckers is getting you to go serve and shit when there's no actual threat to Americans. That's dumb. It's courageous. I get it. It's like law enforcement. The job of a cop is not fucking honorable no more. You are a revenue generation machine for the state that has a license to kill Americans in the name of keeping the people in check. The founders of America will be motherfucking disgusted with us right now. See, I'm actually a fucking patriot. I don't give a fuck about your fame. I don't give a fuck about your shows. I don't give a fuck about your rep with rep bros. I don't give a fuck about wanting to be at Mar-a-Lago. Fuck all of y'all. I care about the American people that are solutionaries, and they're fucking lying to you. I don't want to be a part of a fucking sick clique. These same motherfuckers just last week 300 and some odd of them got together to hide their fucking crimes toward children and sexual molestation. They all got real fucking nonpartisan then in Congress. And these are the people that I'm supposed to be championing, and they foot soldiers for the state, whether you a vet bro or law enforcement. Fuck you. See, I'm just too much of an actual motherfucking gangster, I suppose. I guess I'm just too really. I read them books, them Patrick Henry books, them quotes. Give me liberty or give me death. I watched 300 and identified with Leonidas. I kill and die about mine. So just talking the shit and calling the contradictions that y'all are doing, that's fun to me. I don't want to be a part of y'all clique. Most of y'all pussy anyway. Fuck y'all. Fuck. Now you sending 2,500 to 5,000 military men, young men, that you've reconditioned to believe that the axis of evil is over there, the evildoers. Remember that George Bush Jr. shit? But I'm supposed to be quiet because I supposedly never served. Get the fuck out of here. I've served hoods across. I'm a hood veteran. Fuck that. I've served all of urban America for the last 10 years of my fucking life. I've sacrificed more than you motherfuckers could ever know. I've forgotten most and more than these motherfuckers will ever know. I'm actually a dork, like an actual reader and paying attention to shit. And when something don't look right, and it looked like that funny and the light shit that we saw however long ago, I'm supposed to say something. I'm supposed to go, hey y'all, that I don't rock with that. No different than when I'm hearing people say, see, they sending 2,500 Marines. I gotta tell y'all the whole story, right? I gotta tell y'all, I'm not gonna say, see, they throwing all of it. Them 2,500, they're gonna like be in the area, allegedly. But that's always the first wave how it go. Send a little bit. When you take a corner, because somebody a few nights ago said this ain't street shit. Yes, it is. When you take a corner, you don't send the whole army first. That's 300, the movie 300. Leonidas took 300 of his personal guard first and just went to the hot gates. Right? Let me just see what the fuck's up. Maybe we could take them with this little small amount, but there will be fucking casualties. The problem is you niggas, y'all lied the whole time and said, no, we ain't sending nobody over there. No, it's stupid for us to do it. And J.D. Vance is being smart. J.D. Vance is going, it's classified what I told him. Then later on, if he has aspirations to run, I'm definitely I'm not voting for J.D. Vance. I'm not. Sorry. I'm not. If that only person I'm voting for, if Rand Paul or Thomas Massey run. I've been texting Thomas, or I was for a while, trying to get Thomas Massey to run for president. And the beauty of it is I don't think he want to. I don't think he want to. But anyway, when you want to take a corner, you send a small team first. You send a couple of, you know what I mean? You make cool with them. You know what I'm saying? You send a cute chick. See if they fall for the honeypot. You do other things first. You don't send the whole army. And you gonna need, if you think listen, bro, they not taking shit with 2,500 nothing. You need at least 200,000 to fuck with Iran. I'm saying on the light end. Iran is not, bro, even though they military only like 350,000, it's so many things on top of that. Matter of fact, I made a list. Let me look at the list. Hey, guys, make sure y'all support the work. I'm going to put this on the screen real quick. Ask me some questions, y'all, while I look this up real quick. Ask me some questions as it relates to this tonight. I want to chop it up with y'all about this. But I had something that I typed out. Ask me some questions. I'm going to try to find this real quick, y'all. All right. I found it. Here's a few hypothetical questions on a ground invasion in Iran for us to toss around. I actually tweeted this like last week sometime. I asked these questions a week ago when there was no rumblings about ground troops, but I already was like, you're not going to get Iran with fucking airstrikes. Because even y'all, if y'all was telling the truth about what y'all destroyed, see, when they talking about nuclear shit, let me put y'all on real quick. You put nuclear reactors under shit deep in the ground, right? Now there's talk that they put this motherfucker under a whole new situation underground. Iran, if y'all say they've been pump faking and saying death to America for 37 years or 47 years, whatever it is, right? If y'all, and Chris Cox commented on this. This is my guy. If they had 50 years to do things, then they had 50 years to do things. Now there's argument or potential theory that they took that shit even deeper into a more secure underground situation. Now, nonetheless, even with all of this, I was asking questions about this shit last week, just running some hypotheticals. And this is on my X page. Y'all can go look at the dates. This was from March the 8th. Few hypothetical questions on a ground invasion in Iran for us to toss around. Just toss around. How many people are in Iran? How many troops would be needed? How many people are in Tehran alone? I've been asking them 3 questions all week. Because I'm just looking at the numbers like, ugh, it's different. How many troops will be needed? How large is Iran's military? How many troops will be needed? Will the IRGC, the Quds, or the Basij join in? If you don't know who the Quds or the Basij is, they're like their elevated level fighting force. Okay? So it's not just their 350,000. This is what I was saying earlier that made me think about this. It's not just their 350,000 military men. It's the other fighting forces, like the IRGC, the Quds or the Basij. How does that change? Next question. How does that change if they get in at all? Okay. Do these questions pose enough of a quagmire to ensure the U.S. government won't send troops there? Or will it happen regardless? Share your perspective below, then I got to get back to fundraising, right? I don't know, Rick just asked the question. Was Netanyahu taken down? I don't think he was. And if he was, I don't think it's based on that like AI shit where they like, look, you got 6 fingers. I don't think he was. I think that's some classified shit to make people think he's there to see and make them hesitant. That's what I would do if I was them. Okay? But going back to this question. These questions. When you know, the general public may not even know what the IRGC is or the Basij. They don't know these things. They don't know that that's another few million dudes like that don't give a fuck. So now you got insurgents. Now you got 350,000 dudes. They got a solid navy. They got a solid, you know, they not unorganized out here. Okay? So these are legitimate questions that you got to ask even when you just saying we just going to do airstrikes. If you're doing airstrikes and you can't get it, then you wasting your fucking time. Then, like I said last night, maybe the play is we get all involved or we look like we getting involved. Then we did our part. We took out your top 2 waves of your top 50 dudes, if it's for Israel, right? Then the blowback from politically, J.D. Vance is exit rant. J.D. Vance is not saying, and again, that response that he had was very political. I love that response. It was a very clean response, right? All right, so look, I'm going to get to that, Alley Cat. I feel you, but let me give you a breakdown, right? So, J.D. Vance plays it this way. The general public, I don't know. I know in my anecdotal experience in the last 2 weeks, right? There are more people that are in opposition to this war that are in support of it. At best, people are asking questions like, I'm not sure. Or they at least trying to glaze Trump a little bit and be like, well, we trust the president, but there's some questions. When you see Nick Fuentes, Matt Walsh, and the usual neocons going like, I don't know. Somehow they're getting objective. So if that's happening, and maybe y'all tell me in the chat, I'm not feeling the general public falling for this fucking media hype. This shit looks like Vietnam to me. This looks like where the American public was like, we are not in support of the Vietnam War. No, thank you. That was one of the last speeches that Dr. Martin Luther King gave before he got fucking murdered. Why I oppose the Vietnam War speech. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. My point is, this is kind of, y'all know I'm 118 years old. So I remember Vietnam. I was a youngster. So all I'm saying to you is it gives that energy. It gives that vibe. It's like the general public is like, nah. That's why they stopped showing wars on television after Vietnam, because it backfired. The American people saw how ugly war is, and they was like, absolutely not. That's why now you only see like drone strikes here and there, and you don't really see the people get blown up. You just see like buildings. And which is ironic because the White House's X page is now like showing shit like it's a fucking video game. But nonetheless, I am not seeing the massive amount of people saying, yeah, hell yeah. Right? So since I'm not seeing that, and Trump is looking at that and like, if Trump goes, hey, the American people, we did our part, we still with our allies, you got it from here on out. Now, here's the problem. I do not trust Israel to not go nuclear. I believe Israel will go nuclear before Iran, if Iran even has the fucking capabilities. Government lies so much that they could have it and be like, look, we got it. And the general public will be like, the government could be like, look, they told us they got it. Look, here go the paperwork. And everybody be like, nah, y'all cried wolf so much that the people, you lost the will and trust of the people. So if Trump backs out, we did our part. We did this. We did X, Y, and Z. Then we fall back. Israel is fucked. You want to talk about a hostile arena. Let's go back to the statement that Alley Cat said. Alley Cat said, Brother Maj, I'm from Watts, California. You can't take a corner where there's an entire hood that consists of blocks. You need to step up with a nice size squad. I'm not saying that they going in with them 2,500 to 5,000 Marines trying to take Tehran. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you got these guys positioned here that make the transition for more and more people in there smoother, that's how that always starts. And you can't keep a block without putting bodies on the block. You can't serve everybody from drones on the block. Maybe you could, but you ain't gonna stop the foot traffic. You need foot soldiers to stop foot soldiers. Which when people keep saying we're not gonna do boots on the ground, and if you're chasing nuclear issues and they're deep under cavalcades, you won't get that controlled and destroyed from just airstrikes. Now, maybe a Moab, maybe, but then we have a conversation about this shit is nuclear. Other than like the input and energy that would be, now, wait, before I even go there, let's go back to this Israel thing. Let's say Trump goes, we heard the American people, we falling back. There's already rumors that Netanyahu done got, okay? It's already those rumors. So let's say Trump goes, hey, we did our part. They're our allies. They got it from here. It was not about American entanglement. You know, we got to let the people of Iran overthrow their government on their own, which he said in a speech early on, right? Israel is fucked. Tel Aviv has been getting bombed the whole fucking time. And again, you don't see all of that on the news. Check out some Al Jazeera or some shit, right? Tel Aviv is getting fucked. No Vaseline. Pause. So you're now surrounded by enemy hostiles where the United States, okay, let's throw a Hail Mary. Next week, there's supposed to be like negotiations, China, Russia, United States, those guys. Let's say that comes into the play. You cut a sweet deal with Putin about certain shit and oil and this, that, and the third. That neutralizes a different conversation. My point in saying this is we don't have an immediate enough benefit that's visible to everyone, for everyone to get behind, to justify the contradictions that this administration has said and the amount of pushback that you're getting even from your talking heads. Somebody in the chat, please tell me if you're hearing more people in alignment with, what really fucked it up is all of the people that hate the Jews, that some of them are Jew haters. Like, that's just what it is. Some of them are very much anti so-called Semitic. But again, they're not Semites because they're Ashkenazi, whatever. We'll do that class a different day. My point is, some of those dudes that are so anti-Semitic, the Israeli government has been so fucked up that even those anti-Semitic dudes that hate the Jews, they look like they're fucking scholars at this point because the Israeli government has been so fucking corrupt. And Netanyahu has been like the poster child for grimy motherfucker. So those people that, in my opinion, some of them are anti-Semitic, not all of them, not most of them. Those people are bringing up points, even people that's just bringing up points and getting called anti-Semitic. They're bringing up points that have fucking validity. People I don't even like. I'm like, this dude's a fucking clown, but he's right here. She's right here. People that are asking different questions that are like, I don't see how that benefits us. I don't see how that benefits us. If you lose that because your media was not strong enough, not one person in the chat, somebody in the chat tell me, if you're in the chat and you feel like this war is justified and necessary, I'm not going to attack you. I promise you I'm not. Tell me why it's justified and necessary and what the benefit of the American people is. Other than, like I said last night, we just on some gangster shit and we fighting for wars we in a proxy war with fucking China via the oil situation there and Venezuela, because Monroe Doctrine, motherfucker, this whole side is us, right? That could be one argument. Then it's we just killed the motherfuckers in Mexico. We just snatched Maduro. We got that oil. They doing business with us. Breaking news, Cuba about to lay down to us. That's going to be some more tourism dollars and some more money there. That's a missile base there. Cuba seeing what we did in Venezuela and was like, hey, no mas, no, hey, no papi, hey, we want to do business, papi, yeah, right? I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying call it what it is. Other than global dominance for all of these fucking energy and data centers that y'all want to do, right? Just say that. Just say that. But other than that, and explaining it to the American people that could get behind, yeah, we could do this. Fuck it. Benny just said it's the Game of Thrones. If y'all break it down like the Game of Thrones, listen. Cersei was playing the whole board. She learned more from her dad than her two brothers. Playing the whole board game. I'm with it. I like the Game of Thrones. I really like Cersei Lannister. That's bad. Okay? So I'm not mad at it, but you got to call it what it is. Don't tell us it's a righteous mission. That ain't righteous to us. Fuck them. That's on them over there. You can't get somebody else's freedom. They don't understand how to hold on to freedom. That shit like energy. You can't hold it for them. Energy got to get transferred. You feel what I'm saying? Terry with the super chat says, just as America's government doesn't reflect Americans, Israel's government doesn't reflect Jewish people. The political ideology of Zionism is in control. This isn't a deep statement like people should get offended by it. It's the truth. It's the truth. And I know there's a lot of people in Israel. There's the biggest expatriates of whatever, how you pronounce that word, of black Jewish people in fucking Israel. But if the government can't explain, look, we on some gangster shit right now. We just need y'all to hold us down. Just ride with us for a little bit. It's going to get us a little You know how you on a plane? You understand when if the pilot tells you, look, it's going to get a little choppy 70 minutes in, 60 minutes in, 20 minutes in. We're going to have a little chop. Well, it's anticipated. You even start to chill a little bit. You anticipate the chop. You're like, oh, that's the turbulence he was telling me about. But let that pilot not tell you about no turbulence. And the plane start doing all of this. You're going to be like, what's going on? You're going to get more nervous. You're going to be more suspect. You're going to be more at ease. Excuse me, not at ease. HVAC Soldier says, David from Iowa, Trump's base is pro-war as long as it's Trump's war. Ooh. Dang. Trump's base is pro-war as long as it's Trump's war. God damn, David. Damn. And that's unfortunate. And some of us that are only pro-war when there's a threat to American lives are falling back. So these polls where they're like, 98% of the MAGA base still supports Trump. That's because they asking the remaining base. If you ask if there's 1,000 people in a group and 500 of them leave because they like, I don't fuck with that. And then you ask the 500 remaining people a question and you get a high level of approval, that's a skewered poll. You're supposed to ask, you had 1,000 people, 500 left. You're supposed to ask everybody, why you leave, why you stay. You'll get a better refined answer about the genuine conditions of things by doing it that way. But that's if you're not going into it to have a biased poll. And a lot of these polls are biased and they know it. They just pick and choose when they want to say the poll is biased. We're winning in the polls. You just said the polls is bullshit. Oh, that poll. I get it. So when we as solutionaries ask a different question and go, nah, I'm not cool with that. I've openly said I don't care about the freedom, us being responsible for getting the freedom of the Iranian people. I'm not into it. I've been to Africa 3 times in my life. I love Ghana. I love Senegal. Egypt was amazing. Right? It's been 1,000 years ago. However, when the Tutsis and the whatever and like the movie Hotel Rwanda was happening, that's not my fight, bro. Even more so now. When the whole like Rwandan and Darfur and, you know, all of the actors and shit was like free to people. I feel you, and that's a cute thing for y'all people to say. But y'all don't include none of them people into your house. You don't go find none of the refugees. You just, as the celebrity, say certain shit. And that's cute, but that's not real. I'm just not going to lie to you like that. That is over there. They got to fight for their own shit. It is not America's responsibility, especially a government as corrupt as and bought and paid for and co-opted and controlled as the United States government is. And some of you might think I'm only talking about the Israeli government. No, the fuck I'm not. Y'all don't understand how far China got their hand. Every time I'm in D.C., going to see somebody I know, going to see Thomas Massey. I remember when I was doing the CPAC circuit a whole lot. I would be in D.C. because it's not too far from Philly. I would chop it up with my man. He was second in command over at CPAC. He not there no more. Shouts to my man Dan. Right? Dan Schneider. What's up, Dan? I would see people from China, the lobbyists, chopping it up with all of these other. I'm like, damn, they lobbyists. They this, they that. So your United States government is bought and fucking. Lobbying shouldn't even be a fucking thing. Lobbying should be voting. But paying somebody to get the fuck out of here. So my point in saying that is, why would I not question a government with the history that our government has and how far we've allowed it to fall from grace and the limits of government that the founding documents and founding fathers had? Why would I be not questioning their things when they use their media skillfully to lie as they're doing? Then they get everybody on code to say a lie. And the beauty of it is most of y'all are not falling for the lie no more. They're not falling for it. I've asked this question in the chat, right? I said, how many people in the chat actually believe that this war is necessary and justified? Nobody. Nobody. Because y'all got a half a brain. I got a quarter, a tenth of a brain, and I know it. Anybody with half a brain is like, no, this just doesn't make sense. Bro, I seen this joke where this dude was like, your girl only gonna get you the same thing for your birthday. She's gonna get you sex in blue this year. Like, that's it. Right? That's it. So after a while, you start to go, this is what I'm gonna get from, like, guys in general, we accept for our birthday, we're gonna get socks, boxers. Don't nobody give us flowers. I like flowers and shit, tulips. You know what I mean? No, don't nobody want to give me no pussy willows. I like some nice foliage, but they don't give us that. They give us socks, thermals, and they give us stuff to fix shit around. Hey, here's some tools so you can work, right? Once you start seeing that, it becomes a little bit, you appreciate life every day, but your birthday, you just like, all right. There's no like, hey, we're taking you to Aspen for your born day. Hey, we're flying you out to the Bahamas for your born day, Dad. Like, that shit don't happen. So when the story keep getting repeated and the people that are like any way, shape, or form paying attention go like, nah, y'all said they had weapons of mass destruction. Tell me the difference between weapons of mass destruction in Bush Jr. and they got nuke capabilities. They 2 weeks away from 2 minutes, two seconds away from nuclear capabilities. It's the same cat. And the fucked up part is they might be telling the truth this time. I don't think so, but they could be. But you're so corrupt that you've burned any goodwill that you have with the American people. And that's good. A healthy dose of skepticism is good as it relates to government. Here's where it becomes dangerous, guys. And I want us all to not fall for this part. Don't be so frustrated at the United States government and how horrible they are and how we know how they be doing horrible shit that we low-key are internally kind of hoping they fuck up to be proven right. That's a dangerous, egotistical game. Okay? You're right. Just be right. And try to steer the course with reasonable, logical, respectable conversation with those that you can in the direction of influencing the body politic to go anti-war. Okay? But when you start going, I knew that they was on this stupid shit because that's what they always do. And then you low-key go, see, and watch you putting the energy out for motherfuckers to kind of low-key be like, yeah, watch they send 200,000 troops and fuck them troops because they should. That's where you get balance. These are still American lives that we talking about. Even at 2,500 to 5,000 Marines. And again, those Marines are already kind of like out and about. The 82nd Airborne has canceled trainings allegedly to be ready to be called at a moment's notice. And they can get out of North Carolina at any given moment. You dig me? But what I'm saying to you is we still have to be the voice of reason as solutionaries. We get to call out, look how the media is lying. Look how this looks like this. But we still need to be adamant and just as powerful with our voice to make sure that we're saying, we the American people do not want these types of things happening. And for those of you that think that it doesn't matter, don't get black pilled that way. People in the gun community used to say that. There's no point of us filling out on the ATF's website about why bump stocks should not be da-da-da-da. They're not going to listen to us anyway. Or you go real mean and say, fuck the ATF, as opposed to giving a meticulous breakdown, simple and logistical, hey, this bump stock does not convert a firearm into a machine gun. Da-da-da-da-da. And explaining that in a solid way. And what happens? A lot of times, especially more often, and I expect it to be even more so often after the Bruin decision, a lot of times that ATF goes, we're not reclassifying this. Do not go black pill. I want to say something about this too. Guys, make sure y'all support the channel. Support the channel. Guys, we got somebody gave $200. I forgot to just call this out real quick. Let's get $800 more, guys. Anonymous. Anonymous gave $200 at givesingo.com. Let me go see if he left a donor comment real quick, guys. Listen, guys, I need everybody. Anonymous says, I'm going to read this for y'all. Anonymous said, Maj, love how real you keep it and the work you're doing. God has blessed me with a little something extra, so here you go. I appreciate that. I'm going to assume it's they in the chat. I'm going to assume you in the chat. If you choose to identify yourself, if you're in the chat, I'd love to give you a shout out as well. But if you want to remain anonymous, I understand, and I'm going to just assume you in the chat, right? So that's $200. Let's get 8 more people to match that. $800. 4 more people at $200 or $800, whatever. One of y'all got $800 to give, cool. If we get $1,000 tonight, that's awesome, right? This is what I'm saying to y'all. The work of training people now is more important than ever. They talking about sleeper cells. I believe that it's a false flag event, but people still die in false flags. The death ain't fake, right? Unless you believe in all of the crisis actors and all of that, maybe. What I'm saying is that's a rabbit hole that I don't want to fight down. I'd rather us go down a rabbit hole of being prepared. Firearms basics, stopping the bleed, understanding imminent threat. We keep it nice and basic. Every donor at the $100 level or more, anonymous, I'm going to email you after the show. We're going to onboard you. You're going to have access to all of the classes. And you're paying it forward for others. You're paying it forward for others. We got another super chat. Who is that? That's HVAC Soldier again. Who is that? Let me see. Ken Get Right says, I haven't spoken to many service members, but the veterans who have shared their insight and outlook and the ones I know personally seem to share the same sentiment. Decision-making from government is lacking intelligence. All of the vets that I know personally, like that I know, are like, nah. Now, again, when I say vet, bro, I'm not trying to be rude to actual veterans. I mean the dudes that's like making this their whole identity as if you didn't get tricked in Iraq and Afghanistan. You got tricked. We all did. Why would you want to get tricked and trick young people again into it? So the veterans that recognize it, which a lot of them become libertarian, they go, no, thank you, man. I've yet to hear anybody say what actual threat the Iranian people and or government was to America, Americans in America. I've yet to hear anybody even say that. You know what I'm saying? And T. Falk says, hey, Maj, here in the Bay Area, remember people die. Exactly. Remember people die in false flag ops. The government will get all of us to further their plan. And this is why I'm saying to y'all, I'm not on some down with America shit. Let's get it clear. I love my country women and countrymen. I love y'all. I hate this fucking government. They just happen to be running the show because not a many of us have been involved, right? That's why we have a civics class that you get access to for being a $100 donor. My point in saying this is, this isn't about me making it seem as if, fuck America, I want those soldiers to die and lose. Fuck no. Anybody that thought that was the case, I'm glad you tapped into the show so you can get a fuller understanding of what we're saying. I'm saying, because we care about the American people, including men and women that serve, we have a fucking moral obligation to not just throw them in the middle of the fucking fire. And I'm going to be honest with you. Them 2,500 Marines, they playing close to the sun. And I'm not going to put nothing in the fucking Marine's head. You there now. You got to rumble. You feel what I'm saying? We ain't trying to put some fear in nobody's mind because we ain't doing that neither. We have the elite fighting force. Those SF dudes get busy. If you ever seen a fucking Delta Force dude, like I know 2 Delta Force dudes. I wouldn't bet against them motherfuckers. Like, these are homies of mine. I wouldn't bet against them. And there's 2 of them. If you told me it's 2 Delta Force dudes in a fight against 30 dudes, and I got my last $100, I'm betting that shit on the Delta Force dudes. It's not even a fucking question. So we're not doing this like downplay the strength of the SF dudes. We're not doing that. But what I am saying is if we care about those dudes, right? We can't just be like, yeah, y'all can fight, go ahead. I'm not a fan of that shit. As someone that has been in 3 shootouts that do not compare to actual war, I'm clear on what my level of combat has been, and I never want to be in none of that shit ever the fuck again. Okay? I am a peaceful dude that likes mimosas and shit and Wi-Fi, Dunkin' Donuts, coffee. You feel me? The gym. I really like my fucking phones and comforts and walking and go. You know what I'm saying? We ain't on that like don't take these things for granted type vibe. We're on because we love these things so much and we appreciate the men and women that do commit to a form of service to defend us. It needs to be real defense, man. Stop treating everybody on that joint like pawns. Because otherwise, as more of those men and women start to see you keep running this game, our defense becomes weak because nobody wants to take that job. The job starts to become non-honorable. And you can't come back from that. You can't come back from that just with some cute-ass pep slogans. And I listen, I don't got nothing against Pete Hegseth. I don't got nothing against him. But them pep rally shits, Pete Hegseth has never led a battalion of men into fucking combat. Ever. Ever. Himself. When he said you could roll up in there with 20,000 dudes, I was like, oh shit, no. I don't think so. But he's in the position. He's in the position. So I'm not attacking him. I just disagreed with that. Now I see you sending 25 and then maybe 5,000 Marines. All right, maybe. I don't think so. I just don't. I could be wrong, though. But mine's is coming from a place of paying attention what the United States government has done, paying attention to the concept that maybe, just maybe, some other foreign government is Geppettoing our political leadership. And I'm not a fan of that. And we got to be honest about that and be objective. And maybe, just maybe, enough people go, no thanks. No thanks. And then Trump and those guys go, our people ain't with it. We out. We don't have the support for this. Our media didn't work. Nobody in the chat was like, here's how this war is justified and necessary. Nobody in the chat said it. That says something. The stranglehold that the media used to have, they just don't have it anymore. And they don't have, back in them days, I don't know of anybody like myself that could articulate these things to the general public in such a very succinct and urban way. And I say urban not in a diss. I say I'm from North Philly. But explaining these things like nurses explain things, right? Doctors go do surgery. Doctors don't even, they handwriting this shit. Like they ain't trying to talk to you. I just know how to save your heart, right? I'll show up after I save your heart and I'll come back and say a thing. But the nurse is going to explain it to you. We don't have nurses explaining why this is needed and justified. My job is to articulate to you, if it is, why I think it is, and if it's not, why I think it's not. And to do that in a manner, again, where it's not, you guys don't feel like you're getting gaslit. you don't feel like I'm saying some big ass word salad just to make you feel like you got to come to me because I know all of the answers. I don't know all of the answers, but I know some of them. And the ones that I do know, I'm going to be fucking adamant and honest with you about those answers while telling you guys, we also need your fucking help because there are people. If this sleeper cell, psyop, false flag shit happens, I want every single one of y'all to at least have to stop the bleed class. I want some of y'all that donate tonight, that donor that just gave $200, right? I want you to teach every single body how to stop the bleed because you'll have the videos forever. Here's how it go. You donate $100 or more, I will have your email, right? This person that gave $200, their email starts with DUT. I'm going to just say that, right? I'm going to email them after the show access to all of the classes. They show up in this format. It's like Netflix. You sign up and you pick the class and the course that you want to take. And it comes in modules, their videos. You learn them at your own pace. And you have lifetime access to all of them. And you take a quiz after each section. I'm telling you exactly how it go. And I'm telling you guys to donate so you can then pay it forward for others. They can get firearms basics classes. And we'll start them on their journey. This is how we course correct America. It got to be individual rights and individuals choosing to help strengthen individuals' rights by practicing cooperative economics. That is the blueprint. It's been the blueprint for however long. It gets tight at times, but I'm so glad that so many of y'all now are tapping back in. We now only need 193 more donors at the $100 level, and we are done. This is what we have to do, man. This is why I said I got to do the show every single night. Because what happens, again, I was having a conversation earlier today about men and how we sometimes struggle with communicating something because everybody doesn't have my skill set. My skill set is translation, but beyond a fucking shadow of a doubt. I can take a seemingly complex concept and make it sound very simple. I know how to speak in parables. I know how to simplify shit, and I'm very relatable. I know what my skill set is, one of them. But there's a lot of men that think what I'm thinking, but can't maybe articulate it the same way. There's a lot of Americans that need to understand these things, politics, pop culture, tying it back into solutions and things that we can practically do to help ourselves, our families, our communities, and then that spreads out. That's what conservatives and liberty-minded people believe. You change the individual change the people around them, then they change their neighborhood, and then the society at large gets better. No government involvement needed. Liberals, so-called liberals, today's liberals, believe in the opposite. They believe that they'll get a better society if they use the power of the state. They use a top-down approach. It hasn't historically worked. Or it's worked, but it's sacrificed individual liberty. So, this is an opportunity for everybody to tap in, help others, and help yourself. But if you think that there's going to be false flags, which I do, or actual attacks, right? You should be saying, I'm going to help as many people as possible, including myself and my family, to make sure that if this happens, I got a tourniquet around. I know how to tie a tourniquet. I know how to, pack a wound. It's not enough to just call out a J.D. Vance or call out a Donald Trump or call out the contradictions just to be right. Ha, 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 I was right. That's ego. You don't get anything for being right, per se. You're just right. You get more for being righteous. Okay? We can't do this thing where we know more than them and then we're right and then we lead with our ego. I said something. Here, Style Point said it's only 31 likes. Come on, folks. Everybody should be hitting the like button. Hit the like button, y'all. I was earlier today. Sometimes when I'm doing stuff, editing and things like that, I'll have Game of Thrones, which is one of my favorite shows. I'll have it playing on in the background. And it was the episode where Oberyn fought the Mountain. Oberyn won. Okay? And I won't spoil it because some of y'all probably haven't watched this fucking far. But y'all know that Oberyn won if you watch the show. And when Oberyn won, all he had to do was win. And he did what he did, and he got what he got because of his ego. Okay? We may be right. I prefer to be wrong here. I prefer that this thing is really done in 6 weeks or done tomorrow. The men make it wait on their way back. And we could come to some sort of negotiation. Violence begets more violence. It don't necessarily get more money and opportunity and power. Sometimes it does, but with great fucking sacrifice and cost. And very few people think about the cost of things. The cost. What does this cost you? I can afford it, but what is it going to cost you? Okay? So our job is to make sure that we are being morally grounded, spiritually centered, informing ourselves to potentially defend ourselves, but not leading with our ego. Your ego is not your fucking amigo. That's my guy. He raped her. He murdered her. That's a quote from that scene in the Game of Thrones. And he could have won. He did win, but he didn't do it right. And it cost him. What does it cost you? Okay? My point in saying this, guys, is we do have a cost, even though the classes are free to all. I'm going to ask everybody to do this. You do not have to be a $100 donor. You don't. But we do need everybody's help. There's 180 of you watching tonight, and I love that this week all of the shows have been under 300 people, right? When it's like 1,000 people in the chat, it just gets a lot. But anyway, there's 180 of you watching right now. Whatever platform you're watching on, I'm going to ask everybody to donate $10. $10, that's it. Go to GiveSend, and every time I ask this shit on the nighttime, y'all be laming out right after the show. Y'all be like, all right, Maj, and then go do some other shit, right? It's Friday. A lot of y'all got paid. We need everybody's support. I want everybody to do this. If you can be a $100 donor, you get access to all of that transformative information to make yourself actually a fucking weapon, okay? A hero. I like doing hero shit, okay? So if you can at the $100 level, that's awesome, no doubt. If you can't, just give $10, man. Don't think that, oh, it's only $10. Man, if 100 people give $10, 200 people, 1 million people give $10. You get where I'm going? And we are 193 $100 donors away from our goal. I think I'm going to be doing streaming and all of this shit this weekend to try to get this whole thing done, right? We very, very much so need it to be done because fundraising gets difficult. So Style Point says, hey, keep pounding, Maj. Pause. I admire your message and your persistence and the good work you do. Thank you, Style Points. I appreciate it. HVAC Soldier says it's almost 9:30 here. They just forget. Maybe they forget. Somebody just bought a class. Somebody just bought the Firearms Basics class. Let's see who that is. Maybe you came from the show tonight. Hopefully you did. I won't say your full name. I will say your first name, David. David just got Firearms Basics. And that's what you guys are also paying it forward to. Some people can't afford the class. And if you cannot afford the class, email me. I'll get you the Firearms Basics class. I'll get you squared away. But I want everybody to be safe. I want everybody to be solutionary. I want everybody to be informed. And this is a way that we can help each other do it. So 2 things, guys. One, if you can be a $100 donor tonight, please do so. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. It's right there on the screen. Actually, let me put it on the joint. I think it's pinned to the top of the joint. Bookworms say I'm a boomer. I got it. It's on the screen now. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. If you can be a $100 donor, please. We need as many as possible. Let's get 8 people to be $100 donors if you can. That's just, so you didn't have a bunch of drinks tonight. So that $100 went to that and it went to a very, very good cause. And we appreciate you. Let's get 8 people to do that. D Simp says they want to put 250,000 troops on the ground. I think they do. But I think if we keep being loud and keep saying absolutely not, absolutely not, absolutely not, and we keep saying peace, we put and we vibrate that out, and we keep expressing that we are not interested in that, then I think we can make a dent in that. 8 donors at the $100 level. Let's do it. I'll have your email. I'm going to be emailing everybody that's shooting me DMs and all that other good stuff as well. And if you can't give at the $100 level, give at whatever level you can. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Thank you all. I'll see y'all. Maybe I'll do a stream tomorrow. You never know. Tap in. Check the channel. Subscribe to the channel. YouTube.com/Maj2Ray. And I'm going to be fundraising all this weekend. Imagine if we can get the whole 193 $100 donors done this weekend. I think that's what we'll do. So GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Everybody go over there right now. Pitch in at the $10 level, $100 level, anything in between. If one of y'all really rich people is watching, one of my homies, or somebody that's really rich, and you want to just give the whole $19,000, that will be awesome too. Thanks again, guys. I'll see y'all in a bit. I'll talk to y'all in the DMs in the inbox soon. Be safe. Be solution.